Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Hasham Ali Khan. Now in this video I am going to start a new unit in business economics, that is supply analysis. Last two units I have completed on the introduction to business economics. In those videos I have explained you about the meaning, importance, scope, characteristic, all these things. Apart from that, microeconomics, macroeconomics, law of diminishing marginal utility, law of equi-marginal utility, all these things I have explained in the first unit. And second unit I have explained about the demand analysis. What is the meaning of the term demand? What are the determinants of demand? Law of demand, then elasticity of demand, then price demand, income demand, and all these things I have explained in second unit. Now in this unit I am going to explain you about supply analysis. So if you want the perfect knowledge on this subject of business economics, watch the video till the end. If you have not watched the earlier videos, I suggest you go to the playlist of my channel, select the subject business economics, watch the first two units, be perfect regarding all the topics, and be confident in writing this subject of business economics. So before explaining the supply analysis, take the screenshot of the points which I have written on the board. Then I'll explain all the points in detail. Now, first of all, I'm going to explain you about the contents of this video, of this supply analysis. The contents of this unit number 3 are, first of all, I'm going to explain you about the meaning of the term supply. Secondly, law of supply, factors determining the supply, influencing the supply, assumptions and exceptions to the law of supply, elasticity of law of supply and its types, methods of measuring elasticity of supply, market equilibrium, then concept of consumer surplus and its assumptions, importance and criticisms, and measurement of consumer surplus, concept of utility, that is cardinal utility and ordinal utility, and lastly indifference curve analysis. These are all the contents of unit number 3, that is supply analysis. One by one I am going to explain all this topic. First of all, in examination you may get a question like define supply and what are the determinants of supply? Very frequently asked. So what do you mean by supply? The different quantities of product which a seller wants to sell. The different quantities of commodities or products which a seller wants to supply at various prices in a given market at a particular point of time, with other things remaining constant. So this is the definition of the supply. Means it is different quantities, the different quantities of product which a seller is ready to supply at different prices at a particular point of time at a particular market. And other things being constant, we will assume that other things are remaining constant. So how much quantity of goods he want to supply at different prices at a particular point of time in a particular market, other things remaining constant, that is called supply. And the supply is associated with scarcity, and the scarce goods will have a supply price. Everything will not have the price. There are some scarce goods and some free goods. For free goods, there is no price at all. There is no supply price for freely available goods. Example, the natural goods like air. We are not paying anything for the air. Air is a free good, so there is no supply price for air. Whereas scarce goods means those goods which are in scarce. That means it is not abundantly available. So we have to pay the price for these scarce goods. So supply price will have only for scarce goods. For free goods, no supply price. Now, determinants of supply. The supply depends on a number of factors, number of determinants. So what are the determinants? First one, price of the goods. The supply of a particular commodity depends on the price. If the price is higher, then supplier will try to supply more goods in order to get more profit. When the prices are falling, then definitely the suppliers will also supply less because their profitability is reduced. So why they want to supply? So if the prices are increasing, then only the suppliers are ready to supply more goods. The first factor which affects the supply is the price of the goods. Secondly, price of other goods. We have so many complementary goods. We have so many competitive goods. We don't have a single good. We have so many alternatives available. So the supply of a particular good depends on the supply of other goods, other related goods. For example, X, Y, Z are related goods. Suppose if there is a change in the supply of X good, definitely it will have an effect on the supply of Y and Z. So all the goods are related. So the supply of one good will affect the supply of other goods. So this is the second factor. Third, prices of factors of production. The factors of production are land, labor, capital, organization. So when the business uses the factors of production, the business has to pay the price. So supply of the goods depends on the prices of the factors of production. If the prices of factors of production increases, then what will happen? The cost of production will increase. When the cost of production increases, the profit will come down. So what will happen? The supplier will reduce the supply because he sees that the cost of production is going up due to increase in the factors of production. Due to it, supply may decrease. Objectives of the producers. Different producers will have different objectives. Some producers want maximization of sales. Some producers want goodwill. Some producers want maximizing the profit. So whatever is the objective of the producer, that will affect the supply. That will affect the supply. Lastly, state of technology. Nowadays, there is a lot of development in technology. Due to the changes in the technology, new technology is coming into the production and the cost will come down. So normally what will happen? When we use more and more latest technology, the cost of production will come down. When the cost of production comes down, the profitability will increase. The suppliers will sell more and more goods. So technology, change in technology will also affect the supply. So normally 5 factors I have taken, those factors which affects the supply. Next is law of supply. Very important question from examination point of view. Frequently in examination they will ask you what is law of supply with the help of example, with the help of supply schedule and supply curve. A student must explain the question of law of supply. Just like law of demand, we have law of supply. In the previous videos I have explained you law of demand. The law of demand says the functional relationship between price and demand. Higher the price, lower will be the demand. Lower the price, higher will be the demand. Inverse relationship between price and demand. Whereas in case of law of supply, there is direct relationship. So law of supply says there is a direct relationship between the price and the supply. Meaning higher the prices, more will be supplied. Lower the prices, less will be supplied. That means supply depends on prices. How the prices are. So this law of supply explains the functional relationship between price and supply. So here law of supply mainly deals with the functional relationship existing between the supply of a commodity and its price. Remember, usually the quantity supplied of a commodity changes directly with its price. That means there is a direct relationship between the price and the supply. More price, more supply, less price, less supply. That is, with an increase in price, the quantity supplied also increases, and vice versa. Means when the price decreases, the supply will also decrease. This is called law of supply. Now specifically, the definition of law of supply says, according to the law of supply, with other things remaining constant. Remember the point. The supply does not depend only on price. Apart from price, so many factors are there which affects the supply. So here law of supply says other things remaining constant. We are assuming that other things are remaining constant, then only we can say there is direct relationship between price and supply. Other things remaining constant. That means the level of technology, the changes in technology, the objective of the producer, the prices of related goods, all these things are remaining constant. Only the relationship exists between price and supply. So law of supply says other things remaining constant. The supply of a product increases when its price increases and decreases when its price decreases. Very simple law. According to the law of supply, the supply increases when the price increases. The supply decreases when the price decreases. Other things remaining constant. Assuming that other things are remaining constant. In short, with other things remaining constant, when the price of product increases, its supply is extended. And when the price decreases, its supply is contracted. So expanded and contracted. When price increases, supply expanded. When price decreases, the supply contracted. That's it. This is the law of supply. Now, in order to explain the law of supply, we can make use supply schedule and supply curve. By taking imaginary figures of price and supply, I am going to explain here. Law of supply signifies that a direct relationship exists between the price and the quantity supplied. This can be explained through an imaginary figures of price and supply. So in one column I have taken the prices, the other column I have taken the quantity supplied. So randomly, imaginary figures I have taken 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So the prices are decreasing. Prices are decreasing. The supply. At 5 rupees, at 8 price, the quantity supplied is 80. For 8, 80 is the quantity supplied. If the price falls down from 8 to 7, the quantity supplied also falls down from 80 to 70. Similarly, the price further fall from 7 to 6. The quantity supplied will also fall from 70 to 60. So here 550, 440, 330. So what do you observe from this? As the price is decreasing, the quantity supply is also decreasing. Or if we go from down to up, then if the price is increasing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the quantity is also increasing 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So as the price is increasing, quantity is increasing. As the price is decreasing, quantity is decreasing. This is evident from this supply schedule. That's imaginary supply schedule. The above table explains that positive relationship exists between price and quantity supplied, which means that with an increase in price, there is an increase in supply of the commodity. So it is evident from this table. Now, plotting the information of supply schedule on a graph, the following curve is obtained. If you plot this supply schedule on a graph paper, we know on graph paper we have two axes, x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis we have taken quantity supply, quantity of supply. On y-axis we have taken the price. So as the price increases, the supply will also increase. When the price is this one, when the price is here, this one, the supply will be this much. Supply will be this much. This is, let it be P1, then S1. For P1 price, S1 is the quantity. Suppose if the price increased from P1 to P2, suppose this is P2, this is P2. So when price increases to P2, supply will also increase to S2. Supply will also increase to S2. When price further increase to P3, this is P3, then supply will also increase to S3. So what do you observe here? The supply curve is an upward moving curve, moving upward from left to right, indicating as the price increases, the quantity of supply will also increase. This is called supply curve. In examination, when a question is asked about what is law of supply, so you have to give the explanation of this term law of supply, and along with that you have to explain with the help of supply schedule and supply curve. Now the positively sloped supply curve denoted that relationship between price and supply to commodities is positive in nature. Positive means moving upward. Negative means coming downward. Coming downward. So here supply curve is moving upward positively. Positive supply curve. Now assumptions underlying the law of supply. Now see here. The law of supply is not without assumptions. The law of supply is based on some assumptions. If those assumptions are satisfied, then only the law is correct. Otherwise, the law will fail. The law says higher the price, higher the supply, lower the price, lower the supply. But this law depends on some assumptions. So in examination, you may be asked, what are the assumptions of law of supply? The first assumption is cost of production is constant. The cost of production should not change. If the cost of production changes, then we cannot say there is a direct relationship between price and supply. The relationship may be different. It is not perfectly directly related if the cost of production changes. So here, for the law to be correct, we should assume there is no change in the cost of production. Secondly, the technique of production is unchanged. Technology. We have to assume that the technique of production or technological changes are not there. The same technology we are using from beginning till end, then only law of supply will prove. Then third one is fixed scale of production. Normally what will happen? The cost of production depends on the scale of production. When we produce the goods on large scale, the cost of production will come down. We can supply more goods. If the scale of production is less, then what will happen? The cost of production will be more. When cost of production is more, the supply will get reduced. But here, to prove that law of supply is correct, we have to assume that the scale of production should be constant. Then third one, fixed scale of production we have seen. Now government policies are constant. Normally what will happen? The government will implement a number of laws regarding taxation, regarding production. All these things, the government will impose the laws in the form of subsidies, tariffs or taxes like that. So due to the policies of the government, the cost of production will get changed. The supply will get affected. So in order to prove that law of supply is correct, we have to assume there are no changes in the government policies. Next one is transport costs remain unchanged. Actually what will happen? There are two parts of the business, production and distribution. So ultimately the price depends on the total cost of production and total cost of distribution through transportation. If there is change in the transportation cost, then definitely it will affect the supply. So here we have to assume, in order to prove that law of supply is correct, we have to assume that there are no changes in the transportation cost. So these are the five. Next one, no speculation. That means the sellers should not speculate. That means they should not hold the goods after production. Normally what will happen, if the suppliers see that in the coming months the price is going to increase in the market, so they will resort to hoarding. That will they will control the supply. They will not supply. And if the producers, if the suppliers see that in the coming months the price is going to come down, so whatever production is there, completely they will supply it at the current point of time, because in future the price is going to decrease. So these are called speculation. So for law of supply to be correct, we should think that there are no speculation among the suppliers. Next one, the prices of other goods are constant. See here, the supply of a commodity does not depend only on its own price, but also on the prices of related goods. Nowadays the markets are very competitive. We don't have a single supplier. We have so many suppliers, so many competitive products are there. So if there is a change in the price of the related goods, then definitely the sales of this particular product will also get changed. So these are the assumptions. On these assumptions only the law of supply is correct. If there are any changes in this assumption, then definitely the law of supply will not be correct. Now, exceptions to the law. We should not think that always this law will be correct. Some cases are there, some circumstances are there where this law will fail. Those are called exceptions to the law of supply. Just like we have seen in the last video, exception to the law of demand, like speculative goods are there, and some inferior goods are there where the law of demand will fail. Similarly, law of supply will also fail under certain circumstances, and those are called exceptions to the law of supply. First one, the law of supply is not suitable in the following. If it is expected that there is decrease in prices, then the sellers will sell more at present. Just now I told you, speculation. If the suppliers see that in the market in the coming months the selling price is going to decrease, then all of a sudden the sellers will increase the supply. And at present, and if it is expected that there is an increase in the prices, then the sellers will sell and store it. If the suppliers see that in the coming months the price is going to increase, then what will happen? The suppliers will hold the goods produced, will not supply the goods right now, so that they can supply in future and earn more profit. So due to this speculation, due to these circumstances, the law of supply will fail. Now secondly, if the level of technology changes, then it leads to changes in the taste and preference of the consumer, which in turn influences the existing forms. Due to the changes in the technology, the preference, the tastes of the consumers are not same. The consumers' likes, dislike, taste, preferences are changed. Due to the changes in the preferences of the people, consumers, definitely it will affect the law of supply. The law of supply. Next one, any change in weather or national and national and international disturbances will affect the supply of product. This changes the shape of supply curve, that is sloping downward. Some natural calamities are there. National disturbances or international disturbances like wars between different countries. So these unexpected events, if it is happening, then definitely it will affect the supply. The supply is affected on account of natural calamities or national and international disturbances. Due to this, the supply will get changed. Next, last one. If the wages of laborers reaches the level where they get maximum satisfaction, they will work less to have leisure time. Suppose if the workers are getting the wages to the maximum satisfaction, they are not motivated to work more. They want more leisure time. in that case, the supply will get affected because workers are satisfied with the level of wages. They don't want to work more, they want leisure time. So due to which the production will get affected. When production gets affected, the supply will also get affected. So these are some of the exceptions to the law of supply. So in this video, I have explained you about the meaning of the term supply and what are the determinants of supply, what is the law of supply, and what are the law of supply according to schedule, supply schedule and supply curve. Then I have explained about the assumptions to the law of supply, and lastly exceptions to the law of supply. These are the things I have explained. So watch the video not once, twice, thrice. Definitely you can be able to remember the points and you can write good in examination. Inshallah, we'll continue our topic of this supply analysis in the next video.